Ladies, let me tell you something that's going to change the way you look at relationships forever. Men test you without saying a word. From the moment you walk into a room, before you've even said hello, that man is observing. He's taking mental notes, silently deciding what kind of woman you are and whether you're someone he can respect, value, and build a life with. And the truth is, most women never even realize it's happening. See, men don't always communicate the way women do. We're not going to sit there and spell it out for you. Instead, we test you quietly through small actions, through how we treat you in certain situations, and most importantly, through how you respond. Every late night text, every change of plans, every moment of silence. It's not random. It's a test to see if you know your worth, if you hold your boundaries, and if you have the confidence to stand firm in who you are. This isn't about playing games. It's about clarity. A good man wants to know if you're consistent, if you're authentic, and if you can communicate in a way that builds trust and partnership. He wants to see if you're patient enough to let something real develop and strong enough to walk away when something isn't serving you. In this session, we're diving deep into how men think, how they test, and most importantly, how you can pass those unspoken tests without ever losing yourself in the process. By the end, you'll understand exactly how to navigate the silent ways men evaluate relationships and position yourself for the love, respect, and partnership you truly deserve. How men think without saying a word, ladies. Let me break this down for you because I need you to really understand this. Men are not as complicated as you think, but we also ain't as simple as some people try to make us out to be. See, a man can sit in a room with you, not say a word, and still be telling you everything you need to know, but you got to know how to read it. Men by nature are observers. We watch, we analyze, and we take mental notes long before we ever open our mouths. That's why sometimes you think you don't know what a man is thinking, but the truth is he's already made up his mind about you, your vibe, and the situation. He just hasn't said it yet. Here's what most women don't realize men are calculating without you ever noticing it. From the moment you walk into that room, that man is studying how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you interact with other people. He's asking himself silent questions like, is she confident? Does she respect herself? Can I trust her? Is she about drama or is she about peace? And listen, he's not asking those questions out loud because men don't process out loud like women do. Women talk to figure things out. Men, we figure it out in our heads, then act on it. That's why you need to pay attention, not just to what a man says, but to what he does and how he moves around you. A man's silence isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes that quiet is his way of measuring compatibility, figuring out where you fit in his life, or if he even wants you in his life at all. When a man is quiet, his actions become the language you need to understand. Does he open the door for you? Does he text you first, or only when it's convenient for him? Does he show up when he says he will? These silent behaviors are his way of communicating where his head is at, and trust me, they speak louder than any words he could say. The tricky part is a lot of women misinterpret that silence. They start assuming he's not talking, so maybe he's losing interest. Or he's not saying anything, so maybe I need to try harder. No. What you need to do is sit back, observe, and match his energy. If a man is quietly observing you, that's your opportunity to show him who you really are without forcing it. Be authentic. Because when a man is testing silently, he's looking for the real you, not the representative you send out for the first few dates. Now, here's the part that a lot of people won't tell you. Men think in terms of patterns. That means we watch your actions over time. A man could like you from the start, but if he notices inconsistencies, like you saying one thing and doing another, that silent observation turns into silent judgment. That's when you see a man start pulling back without explanation because in his mind, the test results are in and they ain't looking good. The flip side is true too. if you're consistent, if you carry yourself with confidence, if you hold your standards high without attitude or drama, that man will silently elevate you in his mind. He won't always say it, but you'll see it in how he treats you. Men are also thinkers when it comes to future planning, and they do this quietly. When a man is serious about you, even if he hasn't said a word, you'll notice subtle shifts. He starts including you in plans, checking on you, making sure you're good without being asked. That's his way of saying, I see you in my future, even before he says it out loud. Silence in a man is not emptiness, it's processing. It's him trying to figure out where you belong in his life and what role you're going to play in his story. So when you're dealing with a man who isn't saying much, don't panic. Don't start overthinking and assuming the worst. Watch what he's doing. Watch the effort, watch the consistency. Men will tell you everything without opening their mouths. You just have to listen with your eyes. First impressions that matter most, ladies. Let me tell you something real. The very first impression you make on a man sets the tone for everything that follows. Men may not talk about it out loud, but trust me, we are paying attention from the moment we see you. The way you walk in, the energy you carry, the look in your eyes, all of it sends a message. And here's the kicker: once a man forms that first impression, it's hard to erase it. That's why it's so important to understand what really matters in those first few moments, because that silent evaluation is happening whether you notice it or not. Now, don't get it twisted. When I say first impressions, I'm not talking about being perfect or looking like you just stepped out of a magazine cover. Men are not out here running beauty pageants. At least, not the good ones. What we're looking for goes way deeper than that. It's about your vibe, your confidence, your presence. The way you carry yourself tells us whether you know your worth. When you walk into a room like you belong there, not arrogant, but assured, that speaks volumes. A man notices a woman who knows who she is and doesn't need anyone to validate her. See, men are visual creatures, no doubt about it. But it's not just about what you look like. It's how you make your look work for you. You don't have to wear the most expensive clothes or have the fanciest hair to make an impression. What matters is the confidence behind it. A simple dress with the right energy will get noticed faster than a designer outfit worn with insecurity. Men pick up on that energy faster than you think. We can tell if you're comfortable in your own skin or if you're trying to be someone you're not. Another thing that makes a powerful first impression is the way you communicate without saying much. Body language is a man's first language. A genuine smile, steady eye contact, and open posture tell us you're approachable and confident. On the flip side, nervous fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or overcompensating with loud behavior can send signals you don't intend to send. Men notice these cues instantly, and they start forming judgments right then and there. That's why being authentic is key. If you're naturally shy, own it. If you're bubbly and outgoing, own that too. Just don't try to be something you're not, because men can sense when you're performing instead of being real. And let me let you in on a little secret. Men also notice how you treat yourself and the people around you in those first few interactions. The way you speak to the waiter, the way you talk about your friends, even the way you handle a small inconvenience. That's all data for us. It tells us what kind of person you are. Are you kind? Are you patient? Are you high maintenance? Are you genuine? Those early moments give us a glimpse of what life with you could be like. And believe me, we're making mental notes, even if we don't say a word. The energy you bring is what seals the deal. You could be the most beautiful woman in the room, but if your energy screams insecurity, entitlement, or negativity, a good man will take 2 steps back. On the other hand, a woman who radiates warmth, confidence, and self-respect becomes unforgettable. That's the kind of first impression that sticks, the kind that makes a man say to himself, I need to know more about her. So, when you think about first impressions, Understand that it's not about perfection, it's about authenticity. Be comfortable with who you are. Walk in with your head high, speak with intention, and let your natural confidence shine. Because men aren't just looking for someone who looks good. They're looking for someone who feels good to be around. And when you bring that kind of energy into the room, trust me, that first impression will speak louder than any words ever could. The subtle signs he's testing you ladies. Let me tell you something about men that a lot of people won't. Men test women all the time, and they don't even have to say it out loud. It's not because we're trying to play games. Well, not all the time. It's because we're trying to figure out what kind of woman you are and how you'll fit into our world. These tests are subtle, quiet, and easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. But trust me, they're there, and the way you respond to them sets the stage for how that relationship will go, whether it's casual or serious. One of the first silent tests a man will give you is about your boundaries. This is one of the easiest ways for him to see what he can get away with and what he can't. He might call you late at night just to see if you'll answer. He might cancel plans last minute to see how you react. He might make a joke that's just a little too far to see if you're going to laugh it off or check him right then and there. None of this is random. He's observing. He's watching to see if you're the type of woman who sets clear standards or the type who lets things slide because you're afraid of losing him. The moment you let something slide that you're not okay with, he files that away in his head, and believe me, he'll remember it. Another subtle sign is how he handles communication. A man might go quiet for a day or two just to see how you react. Do you panic? Do you blow up his phone with calls and texts? Or do you keep your composure and stay in your lane? Men pay close attention to that because it tells us whether you're confident enough in yourself not to need constant validation, or if you're going to be high maintenance and insecure. When you show a man that you're secure enough to let him have his space, you earn a level of respect that's hard to shake. Then there's the test of effort. A man will do little things to see how much you value yourself. Maybe he'll ask you to come over at the last minute without making real plans. Maybe he'll suggest splitting the bill when you know good, and well, he can afford to cover it. Maybe he'll forget to call when he said he would just to see if you're going to confront him or let it slide. These little moves tell him everything he needs to know about how you value your time, your energy, and yourself. Men notice when you're willing to accept crumbs, and they notice when you set the bar higher. Pay attention to how a man observes your reactions when you're around other people. If you're out together, he's watching how you interact with the waiter, with strangers, with his friends. He's seeing if you're kind, respectful, or quick to attitude. Those small moments tell him what kind of partner you'd be in the long run. If you're rude to the waiter or dismissive to his friends, don't think for a second he didn't catch it. Because he did, and it's probably the last time he's going to look at you the same way. Another big test is patience. Men want to know if you're going to pressure them into moving faster than they're ready to, or if you're comfortable letting the relationship build naturally. That doesn't mean waiting around forever, but it does mean showing that you're not desperate, that you're in control of your emotions, and that you're confident enough to let things grow at a healthy pace. When a man sees that you're not rushing him, he realizes you're not just chasing a relationship. You're looking for the right connection. At the end of the day, men test without saying a word because they want to know if you're the real deal. They want to see if you respect yourself, if you're confident, if you're patient, and if you have the standards to hold them accountable. The trick is to stay grounded in who you are. Don't react emotionally. Don't try to pass his test by being someone you're not. The women who pass every silent test are the ones who stand firm in their worth, and that's the kind of woman no man ever forgets. How to pass his unspoken test, ladies. Let me be straight with you. Men are always watching, even when they're not saying a word. From the very first conversation, a man is observing everything. How you talk, how you carry yourself, how you react under pressure. These are the silent tests that happen in every interaction, and whether you realize it or not, you're passing or failing them in real time. But here's the good news. Passing these unspoken tests doesn't require you to play games, chase someone, or become someone you're not. It's about understanding who you are, standing firm in your worth, and letting your confidence speak louder than anything else. The first step to passing these tests is setting and maintaining your boundaries. A man will always test your limits, whether he means to or not. Maybe he texts you at midnight just to see if you'll pick up. Maybe he cancels on you at the last minute to see if you'll just roll with it. Maybe he pushes the conversation towards something you're not ready for to check your reaction. The key is to stand your ground, respectfully but firmly. You don't need to raise your voice or get dramatic. A simple, calm, "No, that doesn't work for me," speaks louder than any argument. Men respect women who respect themselves because it shows them you have standards and that you're not afraid to enforce them. Another key to passing these silent tests is consistency. Men are very aware of patterns. If you say one thing but do another, they will notice it immediately. Consistency shows that you're stable, trustworthy, and confident in who you are. If you say you won't accept certain behavior, stand by that. If you say you want clear communication, don't entertain someone who keeps you guessing. When a man sees that your words and your actions match, he knows he's dealing with someone who values herself, and that demands respect. Patience is another silent test you can't ignore. Men often take their time to process feelings and figure out what they want. That doesn't mean you should wait around forever for someone who isn't serious, but it does mean you need to let things unfold naturally without trying to force them. When you stay calm and focused on your own life, instead of demanding instant answers, you send a clear message that you're not desperate, that you're in control of your emotions, and that you value your time. That confidence is magnetic, and it makes a man step up his game. Confidence, in fact, is the ultimate way to pass any unspoken test. When you know your worth, you stop feeling the need to prove yourself to anyone. You become the prize. And here's the thing, men can sense that confidence without you having to say a word. It's in the way you walk, the way you talk, and the way you hold your own in every situation. When you're confident, you stop overreacting to his silence, his tests, or his delays because you know that you bring value to the table and that the right man will recognize it. Another part of passing these tests is staying authentic. A lot of women lose themselves trying to be who they think a man wants. But a real man, a man who's serious, isn't looking for perfection. He's looking for the real you. If you love books, don't pretend you're into sports. If you value quiet nights at home, don't pretend you love partying every weekend. The right man isn't testing you to change you. He's testing you to see if you're genuine. Authenticity is what creates trust, and trust is the foundation of any lasting relationship. Lastly, never forget to keep your own life full. A man respects a woman who is independent, who has her own goals, her own friends, her own dreams. When you make yourself the center of your own world instead of making him your entire world, you pass the ultimate test. It tells him you're with him because you want to be, not because you need to be. That's the kind of energy that commands respect and keeps a man working to keep you in his life. Building confidence, boundaries, and healthy communication, ladies. Let's get one thing straight. Confidence, boundaries, and healthy communication are not just buzzwords. They are the foundation of every strong relationship and the reason some women walk into a man's life and stay there while others fade out like background noise. When a man looks at you, he's not just seeing your looks or your outfit. He's watching how you carry yourself, how you handle situations, and how you express what you want without fear. These three qualities, confidence, boundaries, and communication, go hand in hand, and when you master them, you don't just pass a man's silent tests, you make him step up his game. Confidence starts from within, and it shows in ways you don't even realize. It's not about being the loudest in the room or trying to prove yourself. It's about walking into a situation knowing your value without having to explain it. A confident woman doesn't beg for attention because she knows attention naturally comes to her. She doesn't need validation because she validates herself. Men are naturally drawn to women who know their worth because that energy says, I know who I am, and if you can't match my energy, you don't get access to me. That's powerful. And here's the truth. Confidence doesn't mean you never feel insecure. It means you don't let insecurity control you. It means you choose to show up as your best self, even when you're scared or unsure, because you trust yourself enough to handle whatever comes your way. Boundaries are where confidence really gets tested. Every man will test your boundaries, even the good ones, not because they're trying to hurt you, but because they want to see where your lines are. It's human nature. If you don't set your standards, someone else will set them for you. And trust me, they won't be set high. Boundaries are not walls. They are standards that protect your peace and your energy. Saying no doesn't make you mean. Saying no doesn't make you hard to love. Saying no makes it clear that you know your worth and that you respect yourself enough not to settle for less than what you deserve. And here's what men respect: consistency. If you say you won't accept a certain behavior, but you let it slide when it happens, you just taught him that your boundaries are negotiable. But when you stand firm, calm, confident, and clear, a man knows you're someone who demands respect, and he adjusts his behavior accordingly. Healthy communication is the bridge between confidence and boundaries. You can be confident, you can have strong boundaries, but if you don't know how to express yourself in a way that builds connection instead of walls, you're going to struggle. Men are not mind readers. If something bothers you, speak up, but do it with respect and clarity. Instead of blowing up, try saying, I don't like when this happens. Here's what I need instead. That doesn't make you weak, that makes you powerful. Healthy communication is about expressing your needs without fear and without drama. It's about listening as much as you speak, and it's about creating a space where both you and your partner feel heard and valued. The beauty of these three elements, confidence, boundaries, and communication, is that they feed into each other. The more confident you are, the easier it is to set strong boundaries. The clearer your boundaries, the simpler it becomes to communicate them effectively. And the stronger your communication, the more your confidence grows because you see that you can handle any situation with grace and strength. This combination makes you magnetic, not just to men, but to everyone around you. It sets the tone for how you expect to be treated, and it ensures that only the right kind of energy makes it into your life. When you master these qualities, you stop chasing validation and start attracting respect, love, and genuine connection. And that's when everything changes. Keys to earning respect and lasting love. Respect and lasting love don't just happen by accident. They are built, nurtured, and protected, and they always start with you. Every man you meet is quietly asking himself a question. Can I respect her? Can I see myself loving her long term? And believe me, the answer to that question doesn't come from how you look, what you wear, or even what you say. It comes from how you carry yourself, how you show up in the relationship, and how you set the tone for how you want to be treated. If you want a love that lasts, the kind that stands the test of time, you have to understand the keys to earning respect and building something real. The first key is self-respect. A man can only respect you to the level you respect yourself. When you know who you are, what you want, and what you will and won't tolerate, you send a message that speaks louder than any words. Self-respect is not about being cold or unapproachable. It's about having clear standards and refusing to lower them just to keep someone around. Men watch how you handle situations where you could easily settle And when they see that you don't compromise your values for convenience or loneliness, that's when they take you seriously. Respect starts with you before it ever comes from anyone else. Consistency is another key. Respect and lasting love grow from trust, and trust comes from consistency. If you say one thing and do another, it creates confusion, and confusion kills connection. But when you consistently show up as your authentic self, when your words and your actions match, that builds trust. Men need to feel like they know who they're dealing with, not someone who changes depending on the situation or the company. When you are steady, grounded, and true to yourself, it becomes easy for a man to respect you because he knows exactly where you stand. Another powerful key is independence. A woman who is whole on her own is magnetic. When you have your own goals, your own passions, and your own life, you bring a different kind of energy into a relationship. Men respect women who choose to be with them, not women who need them to feel complete. When you love yourself enough to keep growing, learning, and building your own life, you inspire a man to level up too. Independence doesn't push a good man away. It makes him want to be a better version of himself to match your strength. Communication is also critical in earning respect and building love that lasts. Men are not mind readers, and too many relationships fail because people expect their partner to just know. When you communicate clearly, calmly, and respectfully, you create a space where honesty and openness thrive. This doesn't mean nagging or criticizing. It means expressing your needs and listening to his. Healthy communication builds emotional safety, and emotional safety is where love grows. When a man feels safe being his true self with you, that's when the connection deepens and the respect becomes unshakable. Patience is another often overlooked key. Real love doesn't happen overnight. It takes time to build something that lasts. Men notice when a woman isn't rushing, when she's confident enough to let the relationship unfold naturally without unnecessary pressure. Patience doesn't mean waiting forever or accepting less than you deserve. It means trusting the process and giving both of you space to grow into the partnership together. A love that's built with patience is a love that has strong roots, and strong roots weather every storm. Finally, the key to respect and lasting love is authenticity. You cannot build a genuine connection while pretending to be someone you're not. Men are drawn to women who are real, women who show up exactly as they are, flaws and all. Authenticity builds trust, and trust builds love. When you're authentic, you attract a man who loves you for you, not for the version of you that you think he wants. That kind of connection is rare, and it's the foundation of a relationship that doesn't just survive, but thrives for years to come. Final advice, ladies, let me leave you with this. Love, respect, and healthy relationships are never about playing games or trying to be someone you're not. They're about knowing your worth, standing firm in it, and allowing the right man to meet you where you are. Men will always test you without saying a word. They'll watch how you carry yourself, how you react under pressure, and how consistent you are with your boundaries. But here's the truth, those tests aren't there to break you. They're there to reveal the strength, confidence, and value that already live within you. When you love yourself first, you naturally teach others how to love and respect you. When you communicate clearly, set strong boundaries, and stay authentic, you send a powerful message that says, I know who I am, and I'm not settling for less than I deserve. That's the kind of energy that commands respect and draws the right kind of love into your life. So stop worrying about what you can do to keep a man and start focusing on what you can do to keep growing as a woman. Because the right man, the one who truly sees your value, will step up, stay consistent, and match your energy every single time. Love isn't a game, it's a partnership. And when you show up with confidence, patience, and authenticity, you don't just pass his unspoken tests. You set the standard for the love you deserve.